Good morning from Malmo, Sweden. We're going to start this video with a day trip to Lund, one of the oldest cities in Sweden. Oh my God, that was an amazing meal.
Let's go get some breakfast. Lots of great options in this buffet. We're gonna end up leaving here very full.
Are you ready to check out Lund?
I am. It's a 10-minute train ride, 10-15 minutes. So pretty much it's quicker to get there than like probably walk or take a bus to somewhere else here.
I actually looked at the thing and it's gonna take us a total of half an hour from the hotel to get to the cathedral.
And it's nice to like have an opportunity to go somewhere else if you're staying here, because Malmo is a very industrial city. So if you want to see more of like small town Sweden, it's a good way to kind of get out, see it, even for just a few hours and come back.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get the tickets.
So even for two people, you're technically a group, and it's a pretty good discount. So it's $26.50 off for group discount. It's just nice. Let's figure out when the train is leaving. They're about every 10 minutes, so it's nice. You don't have to rush.
Actually, one of the world's oldest universities and top 100 in the world, you said, is here.
And the town dates all the way back to the 900s, so very old. And yeah, you can tell the architecture already seems a bit different than.
And right as you step out from the train, you can actually like feel, okay, yeah, this is a university town.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, first up will be the cathedral. I think it dates back to the 900s. Yeah, let's go check that out. The pictures look pretty neat.
Fortunately, you see there's a scaffolding construction on the cathedral right now. We somehow always end up places where there's scaffolding on monumental buildings, but nonetheless, it is actually one of the most visited cathedrals in the Nordic area, and it's really old. It goes back to like the early 1000s, and it's one of the only stone buildings still used in Sweden, actually. Always interesting to connect cultural things, where you go in the different countries, and Sweden is actually one of the least religious countries in the world. So it's interesting seeing that side of the small percentage, but even though people aren't religious for the most part, you still have a percentage of people that are still part of the Swedish Lutheran Church for more cultural reasons, just like so many other parts in the world. So it's interesting how religion has carried culture throughout the time.
Although I'm not very religious, I always make kind of like a wish when I go to a church and I light a candle, so now let's see if it comes true.
There's actually a service that's about to start. I think it's a christening. And some of the places of the cathedral are closed. I think it's called the crypt, that it goes down the stairs, which looks pretty interesting. So, oh, okay. Being in this square where the cathedral is, it definitely feels like we're back in time. But then like, there's one building that stands out in the midst of like all these buildings that are surrounding us, and it's this one. So this is what would give it away that we're in the more modern times.
I could have really used one of those penguins when I first started to learn how to ski.
It is estimated that Lund was founded around 990 AD. The region belonged to Denmark until 1332. After a few centuries of Swedish rule, more specifically in the beginning of the 18th century, Sweden was governed from Lund during the reign of King Charles VII. Another interesting fact, the city was commonly referred to as Scandinavia's Rome, as during the Middle Ages it had become the ecclesiastical center.
All right, we saw Lund, and now we're gonna head back to Malmo for some lunch and Christmas market. Let's go.
All right, we've been trying to figure out where to go. It's a bit difficult because all the signs on the train station and the streets are actually in Swedish, no English. But we think we figured out which truck we're going at. Back in Malmo.
All right, back in Malmo, it's actually quite a bit colder than Lund, and that probably is because we're at the waterfront. So now we're going to go to a very traditional restaurant and have some traditional Swedish food. All right, I got a South French soup, so I'm not really sure if it's a traditional Swedish. I don't think it's a traditional Swedish, but Olivia will make up for it with her meal. So it's a salmon soup with shrimp, Roville sauce on top, which has like, it's like mayo with some spices and some vegetables and croutons. Very nice flavor. Oh yeah. Oh, and also got some blueberry kombucha, which is really nice and it's local from a company here in Malmo. And Olivia got a really delicious strawberry cider. All right, Olivia, show us what you got.
I got the traditional Swedish meatball meal, which always comes with cream sauce, gravy, potato. I'm used to having it with mashed potato. It's actually one of my favorite meals to make, but I've never actually had it here because I guess it's actually quite hard to find here at restaurants because it's more of like home cooking for holidays. So glad we found it. But this is like little mini potatoes. It's mashed potatoes, lingonberry, with the fresh berries instead of the jam, which I'm used to having it with. Then some pickled cucumber and parsley on top. I'll try the sauce first. It looks really good, and I really like the presentation. Sauce is really good. I've only ever had my own sauce and IKEA sauce, so I'm impressed. Cucumber. It's very nice.
The cucumber, I didn't think I would like it, but it balances out the flavors really well.
Oh my God, that was an amazing meal. I've had the Swedish meatballs at IKEA before, the frozen ones and the ones they sell at the restaurant. And oh my God, big difference, big difference. These were amazing. And my soup was great. So we ended up kind of like sharing both.
I feel like in the cold weather when I was at home, I would make Swedish meatballs once a week for my family.
She hasn't made it for me.
It's the weather. It doesn't inspire me to make that stuff, but I will.
Greece was really cold last winter, Olivia. Yeah. Anyway, with that note, we're heading to the Christmas market, and I'm sure it'll be very festive. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with friends and family, making angels in the sand. You and me. Doesn't matter, it's Christmas in my heart. Very pretty, cozy market. The one thing that stood out with the other ones we've been to, and this is, I mean, Malmo is the third largest city after Stockholm and Gothenburg. But yeah, I was actually quite shocked how small it was.
Yeah, and I feel like here, I mean, Malmo in general, compared to Copenhagen, it seems more like local people here.
Yeah.
Just like kind of going through their day.
I feel like we're like the only tourists
I know,
around.
I really like that.
Yeah, that's nice. And actually, the other thing that stood out is they don't have that much food. Other markets have more like traditional sweets and stuff. Here, it seemed that there were more like gifts to purchase. Yeah, and now we see some flames. So we're gonna go check out the flames. But if you would be so kind, give us a thumbs up for this video. We'd really appreciate it, and subscribe if you haven't. It's getting quite cold, so I think we're gonna head back and we're going to try do a little Swedish fika in our hotel room in the warmth.